How do we protect the innocent? My name is Wangu Kanja, and welcome to My Dignity Restored. Thank you. How do we protect the innocent? And I'm talking about our children who are from 1 day old to 18 years. Keeping in mind that the laws of Kenya describes a child being a person who's below 18 years old, and they do not have the capacity to consent to some of the things that we as adults ask them to do. And one of those things is having sexual relationships, and also being defiled by their peers, but also by adults. And I want us to look at some of the cases that we've had either on social media, on the mainstream media, because my concern is when we have religious leaders defiling a 9-year-old, when we are having political leaders, an MCA defiling a 9-year-old, when we have teachers or guardians defiling our children, what is the message? Because my anger and frustration is we are having adults who are of sound mind defiling our children who are innocent, who are looking up to them for guidance, for support, for protection. And for me, it actually creates this picture that we are not in control of what happens to our children. We need to take back the control as parents, as guardians, as family members that are supposed to be protecting these children. Why are we condoning? Why are we justifying? Why are we rationalizing by saying, and this actually to me beats logic, why do we keep on justifying by saying a 10-year-old actually seduced a 40-year-old, a 30-year-old man? That's insane, because we know very well children are children, and by being a 10-year-old, by being a 9-year-old, you look up to an adult who's supposed to protect you and to guide you, to giving you advice and giving you support and encouraging you to continue with your education, to nurture your talent, whichever talent that you have. But when we have mature people abusing our children and we are protecting them, I think we've lost it, but also we need to be held accountable as people who aid and abet criminals, because that's what we are doing. And my greatest challenge is those religious leaders, those teachers, those police men and women, those political leaders that we are protecting. The more we protect them, the more they continue abusing other children. So by ensuring that we hold them accountable, we'll work as a deterrent. It will be one of the many ways of working on prevention, because we need to shift the blame from the victim to the perpetrator, and also hold those people who aid and abet crimes, and especially crimes under the Sexual Offences Act. They need also to be brought to justice, because that's one of the ways that we as a community, as a family, will address issues of sexual and gender-based violence comprehensively. When it comes to their peers, if a political leader has committed a crime, they need to be held accountable, whether they are a man or woman. They need to be held accountable. If it's a teacher, man or woman, who has committed a crime, they need to be held accountable, because the Constitution of Kenya is very clear, and also the laws that we have are very clear that any form of sexual violence, any form of gender-based violence is a crime, and we need to hold the perpetrators accountable and stop shifting the blame from the perpetrator to the victim. They don't deserve to be abused, and they need to be protected. And for me, we have so many girls who are dropping out of school because they have been impregnated. And looking at the age of anyone who's below 18 years, they do not have the capacity to consent to any kind of relationship, especially sexual relationships. They are still children, they are still minors, and that's what the laws of Kenya say. And anyone who defiles, anyone who abuses a child to a point where they get pregnant, they need to be held accountable, and also they need to contribute towards supporting the child that has been conceived, or who has been delivered when the pregnancy gets to term. And we need to actually stop protecting. We as a society, we as a family, we as a country, we need to stop protecting people who are destroying the lives of these children, because this is the scenario. So she gets pregnant at 10. Who will take care of the child that she has given birth to? Who will take her back to school if she needs to? And the other thing is, when she goes back to school, there's a lot of stigma and discrimination towards her, because she got pregnant at 10 and she has a baby back at home. So she will be going between back and forth, classroom and home, to breastfeed her child. That comes with a lot of stigma, which by itself makes her become an adult or mature very fast, and you have robbed her of her childhood. So we need to actually put our emphasis on prevention, but also more so holding the perpetrators accountable. And let's shift the blame. The perpetrators are people who know very well we will condone, justify, or rationalize violence, because they are among us. But we need to put an end to this, and we need to ensure that our girls don't drop out of school, neither do our boys become stigmatized or discriminated because they went through a form of sexual violence. We need to protect them, and we need to stand and speak for them as parents, as guardians, and as community members. So as part of the community, I'm asking you, I'm urging you to prevent any form of sexual and gender-based violence, but also come out, speak against any form of sexual and gender-based violence, because you might be saving a life. And don't forget to like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe.